Okay, well, I just wanted to say I've been really impressed by listening to you talking to each other there, because it sounds like you've all identified something that happens quite a lot in your family, this car crash kind of situation, which you're all kind of, you all know that route, you know which road you need to drive down to end up in that car crash. You all know exactly, how far you need to push your foot down on the accelerator to get maximum explosion. I'd say you're experts at it, really. But you were also, and I was really impressed, you were really insightful, like listening to each other and sort of thinking actually how it was for all of you. And I think I heard that none of you really want it to be that way. Have I got that right?
No, I bet if we didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Is that true for you too, Charlotte, that you'd want it to be different? Well, you know what, I don't know whether you've watched any of those programmes on TV where they sort of reconstruct car crashes, but often like the difference between a great big pile-up or driving safely is just, a few millimetres. If someone just keeps their attention at that moment or just did something slightly different at that moment, then the car crash could have been avoided. And in a way it's a bit like that with families as well, that sometimes it's not a big change you've got to make, but just a little change in the way you're driving can actually mean instead of a big pile-up, you could actually have all of your cars kind of going along smoothly, maybe parking alongside each other sometimes, driving off to where you want to be, coming back together. Would you like, should we think about how you could get it a bit more like that? Mm. So I suppose I'm kind of curious, if you were going to make one small, because it seems like what you noticed, and it's really helpful you noticed that, is it begins when you, Dad and Charlotte begin to talk about something that actually you enjoy together. So that's sort of, now, if that's how it starts, imagine, there's another situation where you, Charlotte, and your dad, you start to talk, maybe the gardening you said earlier. What would be a small thing that you think would help Mum to not react in the way she normally does? What, if your dad could do one small thing different that would make it different for your mum, what do you think your dad could do?
We could maybe ask Mum to garden.
Okay, that's an interesting question, yeah. What do you think that would be like for Mum if you asked her as well?
I don't know if she likes gardening. But we've got a vegetable patch, and we could maybe, or if she didn't want it, we could show her what we've made and see what she wants to pick for dinner or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. What about you, Johnny? Have you got any ideas? If there's something, just something really small, maybe that Charlotte could do when they start talking about something they enjoy. So is that because normally it sounds like when they get into that, your car goes into sort of overdrive, 80 miles an hour. Car crash.
Well, they've been a bit more thoughtful, aren't they? Because I think they've heard that, I feel a bit left out, and that's important.
So what speed do you want to be driving at?
Well, sort of medium would be alright.
Okay, what, 30?
Mum's got a few points on her licence.
Has she? Don't want to break the speed limit, because that could, okay. And I think Johnny, I don't know what you think, but Johnny sort of seems to just swerve his car away and kind of avoid the whole thing and go all quiet when this happens. What could anyone do that would help Johnny be able to stay on the road with the rest of his family? Yeah. And if that all happened, how do you think Dad would feel? Because this way, in the car crash, I know it's a crash, but the two of you get your special time together. So how do you think Dad would feel if the whole family stayed?
Well, I think he'd like it if we weren't rowing as much.
Right.
That'd be better, I think.
Yeah.
Because we do row a lot, don't we?
Yeah, but I think in ways that you want me to be able to row a bit more with Charlotte and give you a break.
I don't want you to row more with me. I want you to row less with me. I want you to just.
I'm not saying row, but I'm saying.
I think the rules, if you put some of the rules, because I'm always having to remind you about things and your dad doesn't, then if he did a bit of that would mean that I wouldn't have to do it, and that'd be better.
So instead of Mum having all the points on her licence, it would be good if sometimes if there did need to be a bit of speeding in the family, maybe Dad also did that. I'm not sure, I don't know, Charlotte, you're...
Well, yeah, it feels like now they're both going to have a go at me. Like, so what, I don't get to do gardening and they both tell
No,
me
you
off?
get to do gardening,
Oh,
but your dad will
that's all right.
sometimes
Yeah.
remind you of it
Yeah.
when there's things you should have done, instead of it always being me.
Let's see.
Do you want to give it a go?
Hmm.
Because you talked about a way you'd like it to be. Should we just try it now and sort of see how it feels?
Yeah.